Yes, I could have been a judge, but I never had the Latin. I never had the Latin for the judging. I didn't have sufficient to get through the rigorous judging exams. They're very rigorous, the judging exams. They're noted for their rigour. People come staggering out saying, my God, what a rigorous exam. But I managed to become a miner instead, a coal miner. Managed to get through the mining exams. They're not very rigorous. They only ask you one question. They say, who are you? And I got 75% on that, so I was made to feel persona grata. Of course, it's interesting work, grabbing hold of lumps of coal all day. Coal's a very interesting substance, you know. It was created in a most unusual way. Because God didn't just say, let's have some coal, like he did with most of the other amenities. He went about it a more roundabout and interesting way to make the world a bit more interesting for us all. He blew all the trees down. He did. He got a good wind going and blew them all down. And then, very gradually, over a period of 3 million years, he changed them into coal, so it wasn't noticeable to the average passerby. And this was all part of his wonderful long-term scheme of things, part of his wonderful overall plan for the universe. Of course, at the time, people didn't quite see it like that. People who were standing under the trees, for example, they rather missed the point. And instead of shouting out, hurrah, coal in 3 million years' time, they tended to exclaim more along the lines of, oh dear, trees falling on us. That's the last thing we want. And of course, for most of them, it's the last thing they got. Their prayers are answered in a roundabout way, because if you ask, you're always given it. But it is an interesting substance, and it's a wonderful substance to work with, coal. I've written a book about my experiences down the mine, written a book based on the experiences I've had down the mine. It's called My Experiences Down the Mine. It's a wonderful story. It's the story of a man who goes down the mine and he sees a lump of coal quite near him. Aha, he says, the very thing I'm looking for. And he bends down and picks it up and he lifts it up to about his stomach level and then he shoves it away into a trolley. And the trolley wheels away down a long, dark tunnel, and he never sees it again. That's the story. It's very short, but it is extremely boring. I took it along to a publisher, and he agreed with me. He said this story is extremely boring. This is the most boring story that has ever been written in the whole history of the universe. And he's not a man who's given to superlatives. He said the main trouble with it is everything. And most of all, it lacks the sex element. So vital in these troubled times when over us all hangs the black shadow of the hydrogen bomb. So I've rewritten it now to put in a bit of the sex element into the novel, into Experiences Down the Mine. I've put in some sex elements into it. It's the same story, but it's livened up a bit by 3 nude women. Beryl, Stella and Margaret. 3 nude ladies who've come down the mine for a bit of a dance. And I've left everything the same. I've just put in a few new paragraphs saying things like, Meanwhile, the nude ladies continued to dance about. It's done wonders for the book. I can scarcely put it down now. It's a wonderful story. Of course, that's the wonderful thing about being an author. You can put as many nude women in as you like. My next book's called A Million Nude Women. It's a mining story. It's a story of a million nude women who are wandering about in the desert looking for somewhere to sit down. And they wander about for many a year, till one day the leader of the nude women, Beryl Jarvis, sees a disused mine. "Come on, girls," she shouts. She has to shout because the last ones are about 6 miles back. "Come on, girls. Here's a disused mine at last. Let's all rush down it and dance about." And all the nude ladies rush down the mine after Beryl Jarvis and begin to dance about. It's a scene unparalleled in mining history. They dance and they dance for days on end, till suddenly a very frail nude lady by the name of Stella Whittington falls exhausted to the floor with a shout of, "Oh, this is too much." And the nude ladies see the folly of their ways and retrace their steps over the desert to rejoin their husbands who've been sitting on the edge of the desert having a drink. It's a wonderful story. It'd make a wonderful film. Did you notice, for no apparent reason, very suddenly I went, "It's an impediment I've got from being down the mine." Because one day I was walking along in the dark, I saw the body of a dead pit pony. I went in surprise. Never since then I've been going unexpectedly, and that's another reason why I couldn't be a judge. It destroys the dignity of the court, you see. A whooping judge is not very much welcome, but I wish I could have got into judging circles, because the trouble with being a miner, as soon as you're too old and tired and ill and sick and stupid to do your job properly, you have to go. Well, the very opposite applies with the judges. So all in all, I would rather have been a judge than a miner, because I've always been after the trappings of great luxury. I've always fancied them. Yet I've got hold of the trappings of great poverty. I've got hold of the wrong load of trappings. And a rotten load of old trappings I have.